Hi everyone, a very good afternoon. So I'm Vishwanath, and I'm the founder CEO for Vision Chain. So the earlier panel, what we see has actually laid out the problem very well. So it's been a decade after the Bitcoin advent, and still we are struggling with scalability, interoperability, security, and usability of the blockchains. So blockchain, which is a great technology architecture, why the adoption is less, why there are different challenges, why only token system has actually improved, why not the other areas have drastically or radically implemented, right? So there are innate problems with the blockchains, right? So that's why we have now layer twos, we have a lot of layer ones, we have quite a lot of application stack that is actually building up. So these are the concerns. One is the interoperability. One chain, if it actually, there's a transaction that originates, that means you need to do multiple transactions. There's a lot of gas fee, there's a lot of interoperable issues between different chains. So that's where we are introducing something called Vision Chain, which could be the de facto layer 2 platform, which can address the three major pillars, like the security, the scalability, and the interoperability. How are we going to do this? Is that make this cross-chain ready. So that means it could actually interact with multiple chains. The second aspect of it is cross-chain roll-up. So also the roll-ups, which we have, also are cross-chain compatible. So this gives us a new way or new definition how layer 2 functions. So how are we going to do this? Do we have a secret sauce? Yes. What we are actually trying to do is to bring in the AI. So that's where the convergence of AI and the blockchain is coming into the picture, where we are making all the wallets intent-centric. Why we have to do the intent-centric? Because as an end user, I just want to do the transaction. I really don't care how much in terms of, should I change it to another currency, stable coin, and then do the changes. So we are actually using the interoperability, something called cross-chain intent fusion framework. So this is one of the major areas where we are actually working for interoperability perspective. So it is actually implemented with zero-knowledge system and verifiable proofs, so that will actually help us on the interoperability. Now, when we actually talk about scalability, when there is a lot of transactions that are happening, you see many of the blockchains get choked. We know the priority is not done properly. So to address those issues is what we are actually using shuffle sharding and verifiable random functions. So these are some of these new techniques which we are actually leveraging. And also, we are introducing one more new super fast consensus algorithm called proof of visibility. So this proof of visibility is actually developed by the time lock puzzles, ZKS, zero knowledge stocks. So we are actually leveraging this state-of-art technologies to converge along with quantum readiness. So the quantum readiness is through making the hashing technique also completely different. So when the quantum computer comes, we all know that blockchain transaction or a cryptography of that blockchain can be unlocked easily because the compute power is super high. So what if we actually change the cryptography itself? So what if we actually introduce some of the hashing techniques, which are like homomorphic hashing, which Chainlink yesterday, the speaker is actually speaking about. Or we actually do some of the new techniques, like the lattice cryptography, to enable the quantum security. So that's what we are actually going to do, and to evolve such a good platform, and to bring in the Vision Chain into action. So this is how the user will start interacting. So the user has an intent-centric wallet. He just has an intent to do the transaction. So it doesn't matter whether it's on Solana, whether it is on Ethereum, whether it is on any of the layer 1's blockchain or even layer 2 blockchains. and the zero knowledge sets, which are actually meant for high scalable, high throughput, information, is actually sent to cuckoo hashing mempool. So when you actually see, when the transactions get stacked up in the mempool, that's where the constraint is, right? So this new technique, which we are actually using, helps us to mitigate the choking problem. The scalability issue can be easily be addressed. And that's where we actually give a secret leader election with a fair sequencing model, so which elects the leader in such a way that it's randomized, so that the security constraint on the layer 2 is also overcome through this particular technology. So we use proof of visibility with time lock puzzles and ephemeral state sharding techniques, and we use Merkle trees, which are much more space efficient than your conventional Merkle trees. So this gives a complete high-level view of the working of a vision chain, which will be redefinition of any layer 2 solution. Maybe this can become, our vision is to become to the de facto layer 2 solution for all your layer 1 problems. So that's how we are architecting, and that's the technology, how it actually works. Happy to actually take any questions around that. I'm available off-chain, not on-chain or on the ramp. And then we run our business model with protocol licensing and token ecosystem. And our major ecosystem drivers are definitely the people who are actually going to build applications or DApps, decentralized applications on top of it. So some of the areas where some of the use cases which we are already seeing a significant throughput is the DeFi, because there's a lot of trade transactions, be it in the supply chain financing, be it in the trade financing, or be it in the invoice management on the supply chains. So DeFi is actually growing up well. And then we also see a surge of deep-in applications which require high scalability as well as high security. So some of our application, the architecture which I was talking about is definitely one of the standards which they can leverage on, and the transactions will be much more efficient. So this is our approach in terms of the roadmap which we have for launching our token ecosystem. We will be live in a month, and we are also launching a test net for you to experiment on how AI and blockchain and quantum will come together. So we look forward for the developer ecosystem to be an integral element for playing around. Give us the feedback. We would be happy to really look at and make this as a de facto solution for all your blockchain problems, be it interoperability, scalability, or security. So you can actually reach us on the Telegram. So the light paper is out. We look forward for some of the questions. Is it really possible? Or what you're talking is maybe a state of, an ideal state. So we would love to hear from you on the feedback. I'm available off-chain, that means off the ramp, so we can actually have the conversation. And thanks a lot for hearing us today. So we look forward for a greater vision for the vision chain. And thank you, everyone. Any questions? We have a minute left. Yep.
I think one thing caught my attention was the use case with Beacon. I want to understand the roadmap on the. Sure. I think I want to understand the roadmap, especially laid out for the deep-in use case. And want to understand how vision chain is trying to enhance or solve a problem in that area, because deep-in is kind of a new infrastructure area which is showing up. So would love to know your thoughts on that.
Absolutely. So in one sense, the public infrastructure is available everywhere. When you actually talk about IoT, when you talk about telecom scenarios, there are a lot of data that's actually coming in. But that scalability of the data is definitely not for blockchains. This is the common theory. Blockchains have a constraint. Why? Because it's slow in its nature. So when blockchains have to provide that level of security and that level of scalability, the current blockchains are really not up to the mark, be it the best of the best. I don't actually comment on the great architects who are actually doing it, but yes, this is a use case which everybody would require, but it is not scalable. So Vision Chain has solved some bit of puzzle in which you could actually scale to a highest throughput network. So we are using different techniques to have the lowest footprint and the maximum scalability without compromising the security. So that's where we differentiate, and Vision Chain can become one of those players who would actually build, or the developers on the ecosystem can actually build deepen applications much more easier. Perfect. Any other questions? Thanks a lot, and looking forward to have more conversations around this. Thank you very much.